This is a Daft Dog production.
I didn't take a photo either. I make burgers literally every week, and it's clean slipped my mind to take a photo of my burger.
Okay, so first item on the agenda should in fact be lack of burger.
Lack of burgers, that's right.
Mm-hmm. Not lack of will or desire for burgers, just a general lack of burgers.
We've had burgers and not recorded them.
Yeah, had burgers and they were awesome.
They were, actually.
But we didn't make a record of this. You will note how I just assumed your burger was awesome.
Yes, thank you. You'll also know how I assumed your burger was awesome.
Excellent. Good recovery.
Well, hello, Sophie.
Hello, Ed.
And hello, Dave.
Hello.
Hello. And apart from making burgers and not photographing them, what have we been up to this week?
I'm getting plumbers in, which is less exciting than you might think.
Yeah, it depends how much heating you have as to how exciting that is, I'm guessing.
I have to say, for me, it's deeply exciting because it means I might actually get some heating. But I appreciate for the wider audience, that's probably not that interesting.
Oh, I love plumbers. Go on some more about plumbers. So,
you know what you do in your own time with consenting adults is entirely your business.
I think it's about laying some pipe or something.
There are definitely some plumber innuendos in there.
And moving on.
So, Dave, what have you been doing with your week, plumber related?
Let me think. Been watching some TV and playing some games and still trying to grow a beard. Does that count as doing something?
How's that working out for you?
I'll let Ed comment because he's seen it.
Fine.
Okay.
Well,
fine.
It's fine. It's not a ZZ Top
fine
beard.
Stands for freaked out,
not
insecure, neurotic, and emotional.
Not a ZZ Top beard. I've got burgers on the brain. Not a ZZ Top burger.
Let's grow a beard.
But it's a fine beard.
Okay, I'll take your word for it.
It's getting there. Let's just say.
Yep. I've been up to nothing interesting whatsoever apart from stuff in Elite Dangerous, as is always the way.
But that's fair. I'm not surprised. But then again, compared to our weeks of watching TV and organising a plumber, I'd like to say we've probably all not been up to much.
It's not the time of year to be up to much, really, is it? It's cold and unpleasant outside. I briefly went out on Sunday, foolishly, to go out and find coffee and cake at a Costa, and got caught in freezing sleet. I say we all went, the whole family, and it wasn't.
You see, on pleasant. The surface, that sounds like a lovely plan.
Yep.
And then, freezing sleet.
Freezing sleet. It wasn't good. But apart from that, the week in Elite Dangerous has been very interesting. We had, I can't remember, did I speak the last episode about the Enigma expedition? I'm not sure that I did. This was one of the examples of what the Elite Dangerous community does very well. It's effectively a sponsored flight to there's a second inhabited bubble towards the centre of the galaxy. It's something like 23,000 light years in a straight line. It's quite a long trip, as you can probably imagine. And there's somebody who, a commander called Dove Enigma 13, this is his commander name, and he came into the forums, mentioned quite sort of plaintively, "Oh, I'll never get to Colonia," which is the second inhabited bubble, and somebody said why, and it turns out that he's very unfortunately suffering from cancer, and he's gone through the treatments, and he wouldn't manage to get there. So in a space of about a week, the whole community organised an expedition to take him there, and it took about a month to get there, I guess. We went kind of a sightseeing route, stopped by various particularly picturesque nebulae, interesting star systems, and ruins of long dead civilizations. And eventually got him to Colonia. Now, Frontier Developments, who are also very good at this sort of thing, they put in a very large new type of capital ship and named it the Dove Enigma after this commander's name. And that was the end point of the expedition. No sooner did they put it in there than somebody thought it'd be hilarious to basically bomb it so that it became damaged and non-functional just in time for the expedition to turn up, which then led to a secondary expedition of taking repair materials 22,000 light years in order to get this thing repaired before the expedition turned up. This actually hit the gaming press. You may or may not have seen it, but led to headlines like Griefer's target cancer sufferer. Which doesn't go down that well, but nonetheless,
no, that's always a catchy headline, though.
It's yeah, absolutely. But the community came through and fixed this ship, and he turned up in his own spaceship with a sort of honor guard flying next to him, and it was all very emotional. And the whole thing raised. The last figure I saw was, I think, £5,200 for a charity, which is quite good going, really.
It does kind of make me want to say who's laughing now.
Well, quite. I don't know why anyone would think that was a good idea. I suspect they didn't think it would blow up quite the way it had in terms of an issue and hit the gaming press and what have you.
Perhaps they didn't know the full story.
Charitably, we could say that. I don't think that was the case, however.
To be honest, you always get pricks that ruin stuff, so...
Is that just life in general?
Yeah, you always get some dickhead who does something, and sometimes it's a group of dickheads.
Yeah.
To be fair, probably doing it for the reaction, aren't they?
Possibly, but for the attention.
Yeah.
But nonetheless,
it's nice that the community came through.
The Elite Dangerous community are absolutely brilliant at this sort of thing.
But yeah, you see, like if you read like YouTube comments and stuff. There's people that like are really fucking horrible in YouTube comments for no apparent reason, and you've had people like kill themselves and stuff. So it just proves that people are pricks.
It's the I read an article about this from a psychologist who said it's something to do with the animosity. Not animosity. It's completely the wrong word. It's being anonymous. So when people are anonymous, they feel that they can get away with more. And that's why you'll have, like, horrible people, basically, who in normal life are absolutely fine because they can't get away with it. But
you're
online,
absolutely right. It is the anonymity that does it. People have whole different identities, quite separate from their actual person online.
Yeah, I mean, in real life, I'm actually a 50-year-old man.
That's true. I've met you.
You sound like one, too.
Voice kitching.
I'm pretty sure there was a South Park episode about this, where one of the kids' dad, who is like a stand-up citizen, really nice guy, but when he gets home, he turns into a troll on the internet and makes people kill themselves and stuff.
It sounds like that sort of thing.
Take your word for it.
Yeah, it sounds very much like a South Park thing, doesn't it?
It does sound like a South Park storyline.
I mean, there have been YouTubers that have killed themselves, though, as far as I'm aware, over comment.
Yeah, people effectively bullied to death by online harassment. I mean, that was the plot, wasn't it? What was that thing called, Dave?
What's it? 13 Reasons Why.
13 Reasons Why, that was it, yeah. Yeah, I'm sure.
No, we're not going on to that topic again.
Nope. Well, I haven't finished the Elite Dangerous update of the week.
Apologies, we have diverted.
That's all right. Diversion's good.
The film or the book?
Is it the film or
Sorry,
book?
that's actually Divergent I'm thinking of, not Diversion.
Oh, yes, you are. No, that's right. Okay. Yeah. I can't remember what the series name is for that, but whatever it is, yes, I know what you mean.
I think it's just... Isn't it just called Divergent?
There's another one called Allegiance or Allegiant or something, wasn't there?
Oh, anyway, we're getting off topic. Go back to Elite Dangerous.
Oh, there's another big expedition being signed up for. It's called Distant Worlds 2. There's a Distant Worlds expedition that set off in 3302. That's a year in Elite Dangerous instead of in 3302. We're now in 3304. Quarter 4, 3304. Distant Worlds 2 is going to be departing. It's a major undertaking. It's going via the black hole, supermassive black hole at the centre of the galaxy, right as far as you can get the opposite side of the galaxy. Something like 65,000 light years away. And then back via a circuitous route. That's a big deal, and a lot of people have signed up for it. At the end of the second day of sign-ups, over 1,000 commanders had signed up. I haven't actually looked since then, but it's going to be a lot of people. So if you, in fact, talk amongst yourselves, I'm going to look up how many people have signed up.
Cool.
Dave, you're on Elite Dangerous, aren't you?
I've played it, yeah.
I haven't. You know what? I have tried space simulator games, and they actually scare me. Just the big empty nothingness, the void that is on my monitor actually scares me. I don't like it.
To be honest, you need to put quite a lot of time into it to get anywhere in it.
You do.
Yeah, I don't have any time either. I don't get this whole adult thing. But suddenly I have to pay bills and organise my own dinner. It's crazy.
I know, it's not good at all, is it?
No. Does it get any better?
When you die, yeah. I know what you mean though, Sophie, because you spend your whole childhood wanting to be more grown up. And then when you get more grown up, it sucks.
It really does.
Yeah, it does. Neither of my boys believe this, but they think I'm making it up. It's very
it really sucks. You know, I saw it was, I don't know, someone's Facebook status or on Twitter or something, and someone had posted a picture, or not a picture, I don't know what they're called on Twitter, a tweet, whatever.
Yeah.
It said something along the lines of, I was in the supermarket buying ice cream, and this kid was staring at me, and I was thinking, yes, I am going to have this for breakfast. Just don't ask about any other part of my life. I was like, yeah, that fits.
Anyway, I've looked it up. 1,347 commanders signed up for something that's basically going to rob them of any free time at all for 3 months.
Where do these people get this free time from?
I don't know. I only find it at starting at 10:30 at night. Going on for a couple of hours.
That's normally when I'm curled up on the sofa being like, oh, I need to go to bed in like half an hour.
Yeah, that's the time I go into space.
That's not something you say every day. Unless you're Ed. Sorry, I nearly called you Dave. Apologies, Dave.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to be called Ed, Dave, would you?
Ed Dave.
Ed Dave. Dave Ed.
No, I don't think I would.
So anyway, that's going to be a very big deal towards the end of next year. And there's also version 3 is just coming out of beta, which is also a big deal. Lots of updates, new ship or a new ship coming in, lots of crime and punishment updates, and all sorts of things going on. And the Dangerous community is very excited about that, as you can imagine. Every podcast and every forum post is basically just talking about update 3. I had a quick play about in beta of that last week, and new ship's very good. All looks very interesting. New planets, frankly, look amazing.
Well, you need places to explore.
You do.
If you're on an exploration game, anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. Actually, while we're on Elite Dangerous, I tried a thing called game music packs last couple of weeks. And what it is, it's an interactive music system. So 2 things about it. It's contextually aware. It's like a third-party add-on to Elite Dangerous. It's contextually aware. So as what you're doing changes, it changes music that it's playing in the background. Also,
what sort of music is it, though? Is it like the radio music, or is it sort of more gaming music?
It's like game soundtrack music. So kind of orchestral, a bit of kind of choral stuff.
Yeah. Sort of 2 steps from hell sort of stuff. If you ever want to listen to their music, it's amazing.
Who's that, sorry?
2 Steps, they're called 2 Steps from Hell. So it's like a really dramatic band name. But I downloaded one of their albums legally. I bought it from Amazon, just putting it out there, and listened to it, and I love it. And the number of times now I will hear their music quite often on adverts, but it's kind of everywhere, but you just don't realise it.
Just looking it up on Spotify.
But yeah, listen, it's good.
That's some frantic type.
Yeah, that was some pretty quick typing.
There we go, 2 Steps from Hell. So what do I add? What do I add to my library?
Well, my personal favourite is, what's the album? The album is Archangel, and my favourite track is track 10, Strength of 1,000 Men. Really good. Very dramatic.
Do you know, somebody else, funny enough, recommended this to me a couple of weeks ago.
It is good.
So
Two people can't be wrong.
No, there we go. I've just added Archangel to my Spotify library. There you go. Done. I'll listen to that later on. So yes, this is it's an interactive music pack, and one of the things you can do with it is, if say you don't like the choral, or you're just not in the mood for choral, you can say, remove voice or add voice, and it'll remove or add it to the music you're listening to. So you don't like the lead instrument, you can say change lead instrument, and it'll change lead instrument. And you're not like pressing buttons, really, you're actually talking to it, and it reacts to your vocal commands. Obviously, you don't like percussion. You can just say change percussion, it'll change it for a different percussion track. And these are all kind of recorded or generated on so they fit in together. So it's really very good, and the quality of the music is excellent. And I was a long way from home last week, and I found, or rather had been directed to be entirely honest, a binary, Earth-like world binary. There's 2 Earth-like worlds orbiting each other in like a binary planet, and you don't see Earth-like worlds very often. They're so rare that when you do find one, they're the only thing that's kind of blue and green in the galaxy. It's lots and lots of very big, impressive ring systems like Saturn has, or massive gas giants, loads of moons like Jupiter, and actually you get quite a lot of those. And you get systems that's just nothing but beige planets, and they're really kind of dull. And you think, oh yeah, beige planets, move on. But when you find this little kind of pearl of blue and green, it's so rare and really quite moving. And I dropped in next to one of these things, and the contextually aware music recognised where I was and what I was looking at, and put on like the most appropriate music, and really kind of added to the moment. Now, Elite Dangerous has a good soundtrack, but it's kind of scripted and fixed. So you always know that in a given situation you're going to have a given music track. And I've spent 800 hours in game. You know it all pretty well. So be able to sort of mix it up with this music game pack is very good and very different. And they really added to that moment, picking exactly the right track for that moment. Really kind of added to the emotion of the event. Very, very good, and well worth money. So what I'm going to do actually is I'm going to put a note to their website in the show notes. But yeah, that's really well worth trying out. It works currently only on Elite Dangerous, and I think Star Citizen maybe. I'm not certain about that because I don't play that game. But certainly for Elite Dangerous, really well worth the money.
Don't the music packs work in quite a lot of games? It's not just like Elite or space game.
Well, I think they would play. You play in the background, but I don't think they're contextually aware.
Okay.
Because it has to be obviously tailored for each game to be able to pick up what's going on. And developers of Elite Frontier, they have developed an API so that you can have third-party add-ons that can pick up an awful lot of data about what's going on in game. This to me is what I think is the best thing about playing this game on PC rather than say Xbox or PS4. Is I don't just run Elite Dangerous. I run 1, 2, 3, 4 other bits of software in the background as well, which do various different bits and pieces, all of which add to the sort of game experience. And it's one thing you just can't do on a PS4 or an Xbox.
This is why the PC is the master race.
Is that what it is?
Well, actually, it is interesting just how much music does add to a gaming experience or a film or a TV experience.
Oh, absolutely.
Because you'll notice if you watch horrors, they don't tend to have a lot of background music because it makes it so much more tense then during the silent parts. There's nothing, no music whatsoever, so no noise apart from maybe like one person's breathing or something. And then you're just so focused on what's happening. It makes it so much more tense.
And then, of course, you get those very well-known pieces of music, like the shark music for Jaws.
Yes, yeah.
And the shower scene from Psycho.
I don't know that one.
Good Lord, don't you?
No, because I've never watched a horror movie that I, was not pinned down to watch, basically. I have watched Jaws, and that was scary enough.
Yeah.
Really?
Yes. I was a child at the time, but I'm also pretty certain I would find it scary now. I did enjoy the ride at Universal Studios, though. That was fun.
Never been to Universal Studios.
Oh, it's good fun.
Have you been to Universal Studios, Dave?
No.
Take your word for it, Sophie. Was there a shark involved? Was it a giant rubber shark?
It wasn't a real shark, no. That would have been animal cruelty.
It's a man dressed as a shark.
Man dressed as a shark.
No, it was a fake shark. It was a mechanical shark. It was in America, which is what made it so great, because they get really into it over there. Like, all the people on the rides are I think they're hired as actors rather than just, the guys at Thorpe Park who press the buttons. And I remember it was very immersive, actually, even though it was a ride and you knew it was all scripted and everything. It was just really fun.
I was astonished to find out there's a Sharknado 5 being released.
Oh my God.
What's astonishing about that is that there's more than one.
Well, wow, okay. If they can make it work, I suppose. Credit to them. At least they know what they are. I mean, when you walk into that film, you know what you're going to see.
Yeah, I've never actually seen one, I have to say. I've
no, me neither, because I've looked at the title and gone, nah.
Yeah, that's about right, yeah.
Even when I'm looking for something ridiculously awful for whatever reason, I've never wanted to watch Sharknado.
No.
Or even, what's the other one? Killer Shark versus Giant Octopus or something.
If someone hasn't made that, they soon will.
There is one. I'm sure there's one about a shark versus an octopus.
You have to put the note in the show notes, Sophie.
Sorry?
You have to put the note in the show notes.
What, to go look it up?
Yeah, put the YouTube note in there.
Well, I'll see if I can find it. But it reminds me of this trailer I saw before the start of last time I went to see Star Wars. And I can't remember what it is, but basically they've made animals giant. It's like King Kong and his friends. That's what it should be called, but it's not. And it's got a giant...
Sounds like a kids' TV program. King Kong and friends.
This is what it looks like, okay?
Cute cartoon King Kong.
Giant gorilla, which is clearly meant to be King Kong. And then his friend, the giant wolf, who's slightly more vicious. And then they've got another friend as well. And this was the only funny part in the trailer. Because I can't work out if they're taking the mick or not, okay? And it's the only funny part in the trailer. And it's got a really famous actor in it. I can't remember who it is. And he goes, "Oh, great. That's just what I was thinking. We're missing a giant alligator." And then there's like a giant alligator there as well. So there's a giant gorilla, wolf, and alligator.
Wait. Is this live action?
Yes.
Yeah. This is Rampage with
Rampage, that's it. Yes, that's it. Because it looks like it should be... I'm not even sure where they're going with this. It doesn't make sense to me.
This film is based off a video game, which I've said before on a previous podcast. I don't understand how they're making this into a film.
Was it this film, and was I not listening at the time?
Yes, it was this film.
My bad, sorry.
I do remember you saying that. I'm afraid I don't remember the film name. But I do remember you saying that.
Well, I can barely remember what happened last week, let alone what we talked about longer than that ago, whatever.
So I think just to round this section off, I don't remember if I mentioned it earlier, but there's 1,347 commanders signed up to Distant Worlds 2 Expedition at the time of recording, and I'm one of them. I didn't.
Okay. Sorry, I'm interrupting. It's not Killer Shark versus Giant Octopus. It's Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus.
Of course it is, because what's better than a Killer Shark? Clearly a Mega Shark. Is it Mega Shark versus Ocnado?
Oh, that would be awesome. That's the sequel.
That's the sequel, yeah.
Does the shark have laser beams on?
No, it doesn't. It's sadly lacking in laser beams, but the octopus does have like a spiky head. Kind of like, actually, the octopus's head looks like the alien from the Alien film.
Right.
Like he's got that sort of elongated head.
Right.
Okay.
Yeah. You can watch it on YouTube Movies for $5.99. I think that's a rip-off.
I won't be doing that.
Oh, come on. From the depths of the ocean they came for the most titanic struggle ever witnessed. Mythical beasts defying the laws of nature. Apparently it's only got one actor in it.
Just one.
Just the one.
Here's the guy dressed up in the shark suit.
It's a lady by the name of Deborah something. I just closed the window, so I only had time to read the first name.
I've just noticed there's another film here called Mega Shark versus Mecha Shark.
Oh my god, yes. There's a whole series of them. Okay, so we've got Mega Shark versus Giant Octopus, Mega Shark versus Crocosaurus, Mega Shark versus Colossus, and Mega Shark versus Mecha Shark. Which I think sounds very non-PC.
So I'm guessing Mega Shark wins all of these fights?
I'm thinking so. Is it just me, or does it sound like the Animal Kingdom version of Rocky?
I was going to say, either this shark is a very successful shark boxer, or he's really bad and he keeps losing and fighting random animals.
Or there's more than one. There could be a whole family.
Well, a whole clan of Mega Sharks.
What do you call fish? A school of fish.
Yeah, but you don't have a school of sharks, do you?
Well, this is I know you have a school of fish, and sharks are technically fish, so I don't know.
Wikipedia. Let's have a look. No. Wikipedia. Talk amongst yourselves whilst I look it up. Or don't, whatever. Shark collective noun. Collective noun. Oh, that's amazing. The collective noun for sharks is a school of sharks, a shoal of sharks, and a shiver of sharks.
Shiver of sharks. So there we go.
I like that one. Presumably because if you saw a whole group of them, you'd be shivering.
Who assigns collective nouns for animals? I mean, presumably there's some governing body who decides that crows are a murder of crows.
I don't know.
Sharks. There you go. It's him.
David does it by himself.
Yeah, does it by himself.
Good lord.
Bloody should.
Because some of them, and I can't think of a single one on the top of my head, but some of them, you watch this, you see this collective noun for some animal or other, you think, that's bloody ridiculous. I'm damned if I'm calling
Clouder of
that.
cats.
Yeah, whatever it is, yes. I don't know. I'm asked if I'm going to be using that word.
That's where David Attenborough got bored.
Is that right? Sort of picking random words from the dictionary. It's open the dictionary and sticking a pen in. Oh, it's that.
Yes, this is now called that. We're just jealous that we don't get to group name things.
Well, who says we can't? This is my point, actually. Who says we can't give collective nouns to things? We have competing collective nouns. We could set up a competing...
Perhaps the whole of the scientific community?
Well, no, they give the Latin names, don't they?
Well, I think they're probably the ones who give the group names.
Do you think?
I reckon so. Who else is going to do it?
We should.
Or David Attenborough.
Oh, David Attenborough, yeah.
Anyway, slightly off topic.
Slightly off topic. Sophie, how's your new phone?
It is wonderful. I love my phone, possibly because it has brought me in line with the 21st century.
Really?
Yes, it does
way?
things that people's other phones do. It's got a fingerprint scanner on it, and I love that.
Oh, fingerprint scanner is really quite handy, isn't it? When you actually have one when you have one that works, anyway.
Well, it seems to work, although I do overuse it quite a lot, to the point where my phone asked me, do you not want the phone to lock when the screen goes black? And I was like, no, I do. I just like pressing the fingerprint button. But it is wonderful. Although I will just say it's got a fingerprint button and a pattern thing to unlock it and not a PIN code.
Right.
Which drove my other half to distraction when he was trying to use my phone and I was driving. So I couldn't put the pattern in for him. And I was like, just hold it to me and I'll do the fingerprint thingy. And then that just didn't work. It was all very stressful.
That does sound stressful.
Well, I wasn't stressed, but he was getting quite stressed by it.
I always use that. I have the same thing. I have fingerprint or a pattern. But then I have it so that you can have trusted devices. So if it's next to... if it's attached to my headphones, my Bluetooth headphones, because the headphones, if they're on, I'm going to be wearing them. So therefore, if it's attached, it remains unlocked. If it goes out of range, the headphones disconnects, it locks itself. If the headphones are on, I'm wearing them.
Oh.
So you can set up trusted devices. So in the car, if it's connected to the Bluetooth in the car, I said, okay, car Bluetooth, trusted device.
My car doesn't have Bluetooth.
Well, actually, neither does mine.
My car's pretty old.
I put a little gadget in that adds Bluetooth in.
Of course you do.
Of course I did.
But I emit ionizing radiation that destroys technology.
Do you? Are you sure?
Yeah,
you emit
therefore I don't
ionizing
surround
radiation.
myself with too much. Yes.
Excuse me, radioactive
it's also known
Sophie.
as a joke, Dave. Ed, God, I keep calling you Dave. What's wrong with me?
You got Dave on the brain.
It's all that ionizing radiation.
You see? Yeah. Yes, but my computer is slowly giving up the ghost as well, so I need to get that built. But I kind of thought that heating for the house might be more important than my computer.
Possibly.
Hard to say, because I think the computer generates heat, right? So that should be fine.
It does.
Probably not enough heat to keep the house warm. Though.
Probably not. Your on your desktop is actually one of our points further down the list. If you look under the reviews section, you will see in there Sophie's new desktop.
Oh, yeah.
There you go.
Awesome. I haven't had it yet.
Nope, that's fine.
Because I haven't allocated any monies for it yet.
Nope.
Why not?
Because we've been doing things like plumbing and exciting things like that. That's why not, Dave.
Okay.
Sorry, Ed, we interrupted. Or I interrupted specifically.
That's all right. So you like a new phone?
I do like my new phone. It is fun. And the camera's pretty good. Although I'm not liking the fact that it syncs everything with my Google account. So whenever I want to delete something, I have to delete it twice, basically. Very irritating.
You shouldn't have to.
Well, no, it doesn't.
I know how to fix that.
Would you like to move to bin? And I'm like, or would you like to archive? It does that. It archives text and deletes photos. And I like to streamline my photos. I'm not one of these people who has like 2,000 photos on their phone because it's just too annoying. So I like to delete them as I go. And then I have to go and then delete them from the deleted. And I'm just like, I much prefer just being able to delete
from your Google account? That's the question.
Because quite a lot of them are work related.
Oh,
and
yes, you would want to delete
loads of photos.
But look, if you use the Google Photos app instead of the Photos app built into your phone. So I have this. I have Samsung Photos app and Google Photos app, right? Don't use the one that came with your phone. I don't use the Samsung one. Forget about it. Use the Google one, because then you only have to delete it once. When you delete it from the Google Photos app, it will delete it from your device and from the Google backup as well.
I shall take these wise words into consideration.
Yeah, so don't use the Sony one. I don't use the Samsung one. Apart from anything else, the Google Photo one's better anyway. So, you know.
My phone's Nokia, but I accept what you're saying.
Oh, it's a Nokia, isn't it? Yes, I forgot that. It's because your last phone was a Sony, wasn't it?
My last one was a Sony, yeah. And I think before that I had a Sony, but I've also had a Samsung though, which I did also really love, but it just gobbled battery power.
Did it?
Yeah, and I get frustrated when I need to charge my phone every single night. That annoys me. I charge it every other day, and that's fine.
What? I charge mine twice a day. Twice a day.
You see, that annoys me too much because I'm like, it's hardly mobile if it's plugged into the wall half the time.
I know. It is annoying, honestly. As far as phones go, I don't know what you think about this, Dave. As far as phones go, phone's fast enough, the screen's nice enough, the camera's good enough. I don't care about any of those things. I don't want it to be faster. I don't want the screen to be bigger. I don't want the camera to be better. Don't care. They're good enough. What I want is a week-long battery life. I want the phone I've got exactly as it is, but with a week-long battery life. That, for me, would be a perfect phone. If I was going to spend money to buy a new phone update, what I want is battery life. Not speed, not screen, not camera, not any bit of software they can think of add onto it, not fingerprint recognition, not, I don't know, pressure-sensitive touch, not any of that nonsense. Battery life. Top of the list. Nothing else on the list. Battery life.
What I would also like...
Excuse me, attention phone manufacturers, battery life.
I think he might be interested in battery life.
Possibly.
Well, I think what would also be nice is when manufacturers go, oh yeah, it lasts 120 hours. And that's like, yeah, if you leave it in the corner of the room and don't touch it for 100
Yeah, if you switch it off, it'll last 120 hours. If you actually use it for doing something, like chatting or using the phone or whatever, using the camera for something, no, 6.
6 minutes.
See, I'm guessing that's why, obviously, because otherwise it would be like the new Samsung Galaxy lasts 2 hours if you actually use the phone.
Yeah, yeah. Not exactly a sell point, is it?
Not really.
I mean, they've on this quest to make phones thinner and thinner and thinner, and then you put them in a very clunky case anyway, because it's made of glass, which slips out of your hand every time you pick it up. So you have to put the thing in a rubber case. So it's
And
actually,
also, if you don't put it in a case, it bends to the shape of your ass.
yeah, there you go. Or don't sit on it, one or the other. You know, but
You might want to edit that bit.
I probably will. That whole section is just going. That's true enough. So anyway, the point of it is that they should provide a phone that doesn't need to have a third-party case added to it. I don't care how thick or thin it is, as long as it actually fits in your pocket. So, this ridiculous quest to make them 0.2 of a millimetre thinner each iteration, just forget about it. So to have a phone that doesn't destroy itself as soon as you look at it, doesn't need a third-party case to make it usable every day, and has a battery life that lasts a week. How does that sound for a phone brief?
That sounds impossible, but also awesome.
Yeah, I'll take it.
Yeah.
How much is it, though? You're going to charge me £1,000 iPhone S? Or
1,200.
Both Samsung and Apple make phones that go for over £1,000.
don't bring Samsung into this, you fanboy.
Why can't I mention Samsung?
We're slagging off Apple. You're not meant to be backing them up, I'd say.
Yeah,
Never slag off anybody else.
but it's true though. You can't skip over the fact that Samsung also make £1,000 phone. £1,000 for a phone, bloody ridiculous.
That's ridiculous.
It is ridiculous. You don't need to spend £1,000 on a phone.
No, I think I'm spending a whopping £15 a month.
This is a far more sensible amount.
Well, I think it might be actually be £14 a month. Not sure. £14 a month.
And that included your Nokia phone?
No, that's just for the phone, I think.
Right.
And then the £3 a month. So I know I'm paying total £17 a month, and I think that's how it's broken down.
What
on my minister's data.
network are you on?
Virgin.
Oh, right, okay. That's a pretty good deal, actually.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Who did Virgin run on? Is it O2?
I've no idea. Coverage is pretty good.
Is it?
I think they hijack a whole load of masts.
Right, okay.
Like, different companies.
Yeah.
EE. They use EE.
Do they?
Do they?
Oh, very interesting. That's a pretty good deal, actually, isn't it?
I'm quite chuffed with it, yeah. It's better if you've got Virgin Media at home, because then you get all sorts of bonus, free Virgin to Virgin calls and whatnot.
You'll be living in a place where they have cable, won't you?
I have no idea.
Don't you?
Genuinely, I don't know.
Oh, sorry, I thought you said you had Virgin Media at home. We live in sticks, so there's
no.
There's BT, or
has-
BT.
If one has Virgin Media at home, then you get a better deal on your phone, but we don't have Virgin Media.
No, okay, all right.
No, we can't get Virgin Media here. We did look at it.
No, we can't get it. We can't get it here.
Sad times.
Sad times.
My parents have it, and they're quite pleased with it.
We used to have cable years back when we lived in the Bromley area, and it's pretty good. But it's better living where we are and not having cable.
You have to make some sacrifices.
Yeah, you do. You do. So what's next on the list? Has anyone else looked at the Vampyre game preview?
Oh, it looks amazing.
Vampire game preview.
Someone's clearly not looked at show notes until today.
I never look at
the show notes.
I genuinely never look at them, and that's mostly just because I forget. And then you remind me on the WhatsApp group, and then I forget again.
Fair enough. So what did you think of that? What did you think of that, Dave?
It's fucking awesome.
Does it pretty good, doesn't it?
It looks kind of like Vampire the Masquerade, which came out years and years and years ago.
Modernised, updated.
Yeah.
Modern quality of graphics. It really depends on how good the storytelling element is of this, I think.
Storytelling is always the main thing for me with games.
Yeah. Let's have a look at this.
It's fucking shit.
Oh, there was that as well. We should have a look at this, Sophie, because it looks like might be exactly your cup of tea.
I don't know. Is it horror? Because you know I don't get on with horror.
Well,
horror and I do not mix.
It does technically have vampires in it.
Weeks afterwards.
Technically.
Yeah, but so does Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and I don't consider that horror.
That's not horror.
Love Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Yes, that was pretty funny.
It was awesome.
What I liked best of that was the original film that kicked the whole thing off.
You know, I've never actually seen that. That's really bad.
Not?
As a Buffy fan, I feel like I should have seen this.
That film was hilarious.
Hilarious as in bad?
No, just hilarious as in funny.
Oh, good. Well, I like the TV series because Joss Whedon does it, and he's amazing.
Yes, he is.
He is my hero.
He of Firefly.
Sophie,
for its time.
Just think of Deus Ex, but as a vampire.
That would be so awesome.
There you go.
Does that mean, though, that the whole game takes place at night and or in the sewers?
At night, yeah.
Not in the sewers. It looks rather more sort of stylish than that, doesn't it? The character in play looks dressed up in a very kind of, very sort of smart 1920s. Is it set in Paris, or is that my imagination?
I think it might be, you know.
Yeah, that looks very good. Very, very good. There's a bit of it that's set in the sewer by the look of it, but most of it doesn't appear to be. You can only see what's in the trailer so far. I haven't actually read a review of it. Just don't think it's.
So what is it anyway? Like FPS or something?
Third person.
Third person. Is it
third person RPG thing?
That sounds good. I could use a new one of those. I was just thinking I might restart Skyrim actually, because I've sort of got a bit bored now, so I might just start again.
Yeah, Skyrim was a classic. I'm looking forward to the next one of those.
Freaking epic, actually. You know, It took me a little while to get into it, but then when I did, I was like, this is awesome. Possibly, though, just because I was suffering withdrawal from, like, Star Wars or Dragon Age.
What you might like, and is available relatively cheaply these days, is Witcher 3.
Now, I have heard good things about the Witcher games.
You get shag sorceresses.
Apart from that.
You don't have to. It's not obligatory.
No. You have to be a male as well.
There is only one character, but it's based on a book in which the lead character is a man, so there's no
yes, because I actually picked up the book in Waterstones and sort of started reading the back and decided not to purchase it. But it was a close call.
It's a funny thing, you know, because I'm very tempted to get that. And I know a few people who have actually read it, and they said it's written in Polish. It's a Polish book. I know some people have read the English translation and said, "Oh, actually, it's pretty dire." But then,
oh really?
I know one person.
Could be the translation.
I say no. It says Twitter no, not an IRL no. So I know one person who is German, native German speaker, and read it in German. He said it was really, really good.
Yeah, you see, that could well be something lost in translation.
I'm thinking lost in translation. Yeah, absolutely right. Which is a real shame because it's something I definitely would be in the market to read if it weren't so universally disliked. And I'm not going to learn German just so I can read that, or Polish for that matter.
Well, that's the problem, isn't it? Because it's not just learning the basics of that language. You have to learn a whole load of the language to really get the eloquence from a book.
Yeah, absolutely right. Absolutely right.
Assuming that the book is eloquent, of course.
Yeah. Well,
Google translate it for lol.
I tell you what, there is coming up though. There is a TV series, isn't there? It's a TV series of The Witcher, which is hitting Netflix later this year or next year.
It looks really bad, Ed. It looks really bad.
Does it?
Dear, that's a shame.
Because I was literally about to say I would be tempted to watch that.
I've got to at least an episode or two in just to see.
I will potentially watch the pilot. I'll watch the pilot episode.
I tell you what, I don't know if you've been looking down the show notes at all, but 2 items down, I think we should skip to it right now, is...
Oh, wait. Which one?
The
Rain?
No, one down. No, one up from that, is the John Wick TV series.
Okay.
I had occasion to see John Wick 2 the other day, which I enjoyed immensely. Dave, you've seen this, haven't you?
Yes.
And it's very similar to John Wick 1, except Keanu Reeves talks less and shoots more.
That's got to be an improvement.
No, my wife also saw this, and she said she didn't think she'd watch the third one. I think she said it, her words, boys' film.
Man's film. Man.
Okay. Man's film. Nonetheless, I enjoyed it. And they're making a TV series. But it's not a TV series based on John Wick, but rather the Continental Hotel which a lot of the plot centres around. So it's people who come and go through that hotel. I don't know how many of the cast of the film is actually going to have in it, although I hear that Keanu Reeves makes a few cameo appearances, but he's not going to be the central character. Well, the hotel is going to be the central character. It's going to be like 40 Towers with guns.
Okay, because it sounded, when you were saying the hotel was going to be a character, I was thinking The Shining.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, it's not quite like that. But yeah, but no.
Yeah, but no.
Yeah, that's right. But I was quite
like when I'm agreeing with someone says something and I'm agreeing with them because they've said it's not like that. And I go, yeah, no.
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
It's just like so ineloquent.
What do you think, Dave? Think it's going to be worth a watch?
Possibly.
You're big
I didn't enjoy John Wick 2 that much.
Didn't you?
No. The first one I thought was really good, and then the second one, it was just meh.
Really, what did you like about it?
I think it's more the fact of the first one was quite unexpected. I didn't expect that to be any good. And then I kind of already knew what was coming. And I don't know, I watched it and I didn't dislike it, but I didn't really enjoy it. Just kind of on in the background. There's loads of explosions and people getting punched in the face, etc.
There's a lot of that. There is a John Wick 3 on the way, just so you know. Now, I had an interview with Keanu Reeves, and he absolutely loves making these films. They're absolute hoot to make. So I don't know how much we're getting the third one, because he really enjoyed making them. In the same way that no one seems to be able to kill off the Pirates of the Caribbean series.
I was about to say that's exactly the same for Johnny Depp, Pirates of the Caribbean.
Yeah, because Johnny Depp really enjoys making them, so we have to keep. I didn't bother to see the last two. I don't think. Certainly not the last one. I saw
the first one.
Yeah.
And then the second one.
Yeah.
I think I have sat through parts of the third.
I did indeed sit through the third one.
I didn't sit through the whole thing. Pretty sure I didn't. I think I've seen the first 5 minutes, thought it looked like crap. And then I think I saw quite a lot of the ending, like the last hour.
Right.
But at a separate sitting.
It went on. It just did. We went to the cinema to see the third one. And it did go on. You know,
I think my reaction
was it like Lord of the Rings, the third one, where it had about 6 endings. And you were like, you really could have cut this at any one of these points.
No, the Lord of the Rings needed each one of those individual separate endings.
No, it didn't.
Oh, it did.
I guarantee you, it did not.
Oh, we shall have to agree to differ on that. No, I don't even remember the ending of that Pirates of the Caribbean 3. It was so.
Was that the one with the mermaid?
It was the one with the. Was that the one with what's his name as an octopus face? Was that him? Was that?
That was the second one.
That was the second one.
No, was that the third one?
I can't remember.
I'm going to have to IMDb this and look up the. I think there was definitely one with a mermaid, which had like none of the original cast in it. And then that was the one that I only saw like the last hour of, because it was really weird, because then she like takes the guy away and makes him a merman or something. I don't know.
That was the fourth one.
Oh, that was the fourth one. In that case, I completely skipped one.
Right, okay.
Right, Curse of the Black Pearl. Now, that was good and entertaining. I liked it.
Good film.
And then Dead Man's Chest is the one with octopus face.
Right, that was not bad.
Which I've seen.
Yeah.
And then the third one is At World's End, which I'm pretty sure I haven't seen.
Hang on, that's a Cornetto film, isn't it? The World's End.
I'm sure the Cornetto film was better. I haven't actually seen that yet.
Oh, do. It's really good.
And then we've got On Stranger Tides. Now, that was the one with the mermaid.
Right.
And then last year, Dead Men Tell No Tales.
Yeah. I think I might have seen bits of On Stranger Tides, like, I don't know, telly or something.
I'm sure that was the one with the mermaid.
Yeah, I think you're right. That was the mermaid one. And I haven't seen any of the most recent one. And probably shan't bother. I tell you, it's interesting that actually the Lego game is better than the film.
You know what? The Lego games are really good, actually.
Actually, they're not bad.
Pirates of the Caribbean Salazar's Revenge, also known as Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Men Tell No Tales, got a 6.7 on IMDb, which is 0.1 higher than on Stranger Tides.
And for contrast, what did the first one get? Do you have that to hand?
Oh, I just shut it. Sorry. Let me have a look.
Don't worry about it.
Because we can all agree that the first one was quite enjoyable.
First one was fun.
No, you didn't like it?
I've seen half of the first one, and I got up and went, nope, and walked out the room.
They did enjoy taking the piss out of the English quite a lot, but what's new there? It's Hollywood.
Yes,
the first one got an 8.
Well, there you go.
I'm not a fan of Johnny Depp.
Yeah, it depends what he's in. He's been good in some things, but quite patchy, I find.
I don't think I can think of a film I enjoy that he's in.
I think I've literally only seen him in Pirates of the Caribbean.
Oh, no, there's been other stuff.
I know he's been in other stuff.
Wait, actually, Sleepy Hollow. I enjoyed that.
Oh, did you? I didn't like that much at all.
You know what? I read the book, and I quite enjoyed the book, even though it was scary.
That's not really scary, though, is it?
The book was scary.
It's not like proper scary.
It was scary.
Okay. It wasn't scary.
Scary. Oh, who's in Fantastic Beasts?
Yes.
Which I thought was meh.
Oh, I quite enjoyed that.
Nah, I just didn't do anything for me.
I tell you what I thought was a big bucket of meh. And was quite disappointing because of that. Just released on Netflix is Cloverfield Paradox. No, I don't know if
what was the original Cloverfield? Was that the one where the whole film is done?
No, it's a spoiler-free kind of way. The original Cloverfield was a bit of a found footage one, where someone or something is attacking New York. Mm-hmm. Have you seen that?
And isn't it filmed from, like, there's this group of young adults who are sort of in the zone where this thing is. They're trying to escape, and the film is shot from, like, their video camera. It's made to look like it's shot from the video camera.
Yes, that's exactly the one.
Quite enjoyable.
Quite enjoyable. Yes, you see, I thought that was actually a not bad film at all. And then there was another one called 10 Cloverfield Lane, which is like a psychological suspense thriller with John Goodman in it, playing seriously scary man, as he does very well. And that was also very good, really tense, really interesting film, highly enjoyable. And then Netflix sort of dump on its audience with virtually no warning at all, Cloverfield Paradox, which is supposed to be like a prequel to either of the other two Cloverfield films. And what it really looks like is Paramount made the film. Looks like they had... See, I had to go back a little, just to wind back a little bit. I saw the trailer for this. I came into Netflix and it popped up with like a full screen trailer for this. And it was... it looks like a proper film with actors you've heard of, like every single one of the cast.
It's kind of disappointing, though, isn't it?
It's a relatively well-known actor, all of whom I'd seen in other things before. And the thing about it was, what it actually was, a very nondescript, middle-of-the-road, kind of meh science fiction film, which they'd tacked Cloverfield onto.
You see, because what I liked about Cloverfield was that it just looked like some sort of slightly bizarre home movie.
Yes. I mean, I think we've had enough found footage things. Obviously, that was started off with
one of the early
Blair
ones,
Witch
wasn't it?
things, wasn't it? And I think we've seen enough of those. But that one was quite good. I felt I really quite enjoyed that one. But this one, it's such a disappointment. I mean, by way of contrast, I was chatting to some other people who have seen this film on Netflix, and they said, "Well, actually, it's pretty good. Or ranging pretty good to pretty, really quite enjoyed it." But I didn't at all. I thought the whole thing was a bit of a letdown. And it was so obviously like a nondescript science fiction plot with Cloverfield superficially tacked onto the end.
Just superimposed over the top of another plot.
Pretty much. At least that's the impression it gave out. And I was deep. You know what? You know when you go into a film and you don't know what it's going to be. And I'd say Guardians of the Galaxy. I literally never heard of it until you lent me the DVD. And
amazing film.
Thoroughly enjoyed it because I had no idea. Deadpool was another one. I don't know really like what do you call them films?
Superhero movies?
Superheroes, thank you. I don't really like superhero movies that much.
I said that in a slightly sarcastic tone because I wasn't sure if it actually qualified as a superhero movie.
Well, it's got anti-superhero, but the fact of the matter is,
like an anti-hero, isn't he?
Yeah, but I wasn't expecting it to be what it was, and I thought it was hilarious and brilliant. And it's the unexpected. Yeah, I fully expect to be let down by Deadpool 2 because you go into it with expectations. I think going into something, if they just left this film as like Paradox, or I think it had an original title of like God Paradox or something like that, before they tacked Cloverfield onto it. Had they just left as that, you would have got in with a different set of expectations and enjoyed it a different amount.
So what you're saying is they need to manage our expectations better.
Yes.
Which is what Disney is doing with the latest Star Wars story.
Yes.
I think. By their almost complete lack of advertising. And I haven't actually seen the trailer, but I saw...
Came out today or yesterday or something?
Facebook or something. Yeah, saying, wow, the new Han Solo trailer's been released, sort of thing.
Yeah, no, I haven't
because
watched
obviously
it.
I like Star Wars on Facebook.
They have issued a profits warning on that film, and it's not even been released yet.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, dear.
I tell you what, though, do you know the vast amount of money they spent on buying this franchise?
Yeah.
They broke even in terms of profits on the last film. The last Jedi
epic.
film. Yeah, it's a good film.
I really enjoyed it. Whilst we're on the subject of Star Wars, though, in the Han Solo movie, I may break my rule and watch the trailer so that I'm not too disappointed by the film.
I think the trailer looks quite good.
I'm thinking if I go in with low expectations, I might enjoy it more.
That's the only way you can go into that film, is with low expectations.
But I think they've got some pretty good names in it, because they've got, I think they're advertising it as having Han Solo, Chewie, and Lando Calrissian in it. So I think it should be quite fun and quite a funny sort of film. And I don't think it should be like Rogue One, which was quite gritty. I think this should be much more upbeat, a little bit more almost Star Wars-esque because of the characters that are in it.
Yeah, you'd think. It's the recipe seems right, doesn't it? You'd think. I don't know who acts it. I don't know who the stars are, but
it's got Woody Harrelson in it, hasn't it?
It has got Danny Glover in it, I think.
Really? You see that?
Oh, no, sorry. No, it's not. I made that up. Donald Glover. God's sakes, that's so annoying. All I saw was Glover, and I was like, it's got Woody Harrelson on it, who I find quite funny. And Warwick Davis.
Oh, he's good.
He's very good. And Emilia Clarke, who's Thingamajiggin.
Thingamajiggin, what's it?
Thingamajiggin, but that's literally what I was about to say. Daenerys Targaryen in that Game of Thrones thing.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
I do actually watch that, so it's really bad that I couldn't remember what it's called.
No, I watched that as well.
And they've got some less well-known names in there.
Oh,
I would just like to say that for some reason, on IMDb, the cast list has the guy playing Han Solo is listed 1, 2, 3, 4, 5th.
That's
I'm
interesting,
kind of
isn't it?
That's done by, I don't know, appearance or something.
Alphabetical order or order of appearance.
It's definitely not alphabetical. Because the guy who's playing Han Solo is called Alden Ehrenreich. Ehrenreich? I don't know how you say that surname.
Maybe you could, if you've got that page open, you could pop the link into the show notes.
No worries.
Just under the reviews section.
Puppy.
You know who Donald Glover is, don't you?
No.
He was in The Martian.
I haven't watched that.
Who's he in The Martian?
He's the
I know
scientist, the computer bloke.
The steely-eyed rocket man.
Steely-eyed rocket?
Yeah.
No, he's the guy that comes in and does some of the code.
It's not the guy who does the calculations for the return.
The guy who's like kind of like jokey and shouldn't be there because he's quite young.
Yeah, is he Danny Glover's son?
He should be.
I don't know, but he's the voice of Simba in the new Lion King.
There's a new Lion King?
Yeah, they're doing a new animated.
Despite rumours related to actor Danny Glover. That is just so disappointing. And the fact that they need to put that on IMDb says enough, doesn't it?
Well, you see, I'd heard a rumour that he was, so clearly.
Yeah, that's why they've had to put it on there.
Yeah.
He's American, and I think that's probably about all they have in common.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's kind of like when the Americans say, oh my God, you're from England? Do you know blah, blah, they live in London? It's like, yeah
there's
along
only 64
with like
million
a tenth of the world's population.
Yep. So while we're going through things on Netflix, there's a couple of things on there, which I just wanted to mention briefly. One of them is Mars. This is very
It
interesting.
just sounds so funny when you say it like that.
Why?
Because it sounds like it should be Mars, Attack of the Martians, and like a 1940s film or something. And I'm not even sure that they had like space films in the 1940s. Give you an idea of where my mind is at.
Well, this is it's billed as a docudrama, and what it is, it's two programs in one. What they've done is that they're trying to look at a sort of serious go at having a look at how Mars will be colonized, were we to ever get around to colonizing it. So it's in two timelines. It's in 2016 and 2033, I think. The 2016 bit is actually interviews with people like Elon Musk and various people from NASA, Andy Weir, the guy who wrote The Martian, various people who have written books or are currently working in the field of colonizing Mars. And that actually is a documentary. It's really quite interesting and works quite well. But then they swap back and forth between that and 2033, which is a drama based on the actual colonization of Mars and how they feel it might progress. So what you got is two different things, two different programs all kind of mixed and matched in together. And to my mind, it's quite good, but doesn't kind of work that well because I wish they'd separated them out in a way, because the drama is in short snippets, and so it doesn't really work that well. And then you think, because it's supposed to be a docudrama, it's supposed to be accurate, they'd be filming it like it was supposed to be accurate. But accuracy is boring. You know, quite a lot of space flight is actually quite boring. So, apparently, not that I've read it, but, you know, there's a lot of procedure to get through. You know, when they touched down on the moon, they had like hours of checklists to go through before they could actually step outside. So they have improbable dramatic things happening to make the drama more interesting. You think, no, they'd never do that. That's just ridiculous. And were it just in like a science fiction drama, you say, oh, okay, for dramatic purposes, we'll let that go. But because they're betting it's a docudrama and it's supposed to be like serious, you think, no, that's just rubbish. They'd never do that. And so in this regard, it just kind of spoils it, doesn't work.
They've tried to incorporate a little bit too much.
Yeah, and the documentary series bits by itself are actually the most interesting bit of it. And, you know, listening to some of these people, like listening to Elon Musk talk about colonizing Mars, it got quite emotional, you know, because he's so passionate about it. Incidentally, as an aside, at the time of recording, his Falcon Heavy spaceship should be making its first test flight, which is really interesting. It has literally twice the carrying capacity of anything currently lifting off from Earth. And because they haven't got a paid, it's all test stuff. It hasn't got a paid payload on it. They need the payload. So what they did is they put Elon Musk's own Tesla sports car in the load bay at the top, and shot it at Mars. Apparently it's going to be playing David Bowie's Life on Mars on stereo as it takes off. So I read.
It just has too much money.
I guess. He owns his own space rocket company, so, you know.
Too much money.
The thing is, it's proof of concept. If this works, he'll get lots of contracts to take heavy stuff up into space. And what's really, really impressive about this, Sophie, is that all the rocket boosters and the main rockets, they aren't just being thrown away. They're actually designed to land again afterwards. So, and he's actually had a reasonably good success rate at this. Actually, they've had a lot of attempts at landing and reusing their boosters. So these things take off and they come down under powered flight, autonomous powered flight, and actually do a soft landing on a platform at sea, which is pretty impressive. There's a bunch of videos about it. You can find them on YouTube, and I'll slap them in the show notes for anyone wants to watch this, because you have them from the point of view of the rocket. It's so clever. It's so cleverly done. And so, you know, good luck. Good luck, Elon Musk. Hope the space flight goes well, because it would be so cool to colonize Mars in our lifetime. Or is that just?
I think it sounds a little bit scary, actually. And just like go send people off to Mars and colonize it. You will never see them again.
That's true.
That's good in some sense.
It depends who it is.
Depends who you're sending, doesn't it?
We were all thinking of someone now.
Yeah, let's not mention.
Not necessarily all the same person, just putting it out there.
Yeah. but it is the same person. Anyway, moving on.
Well, it's clearly me. Shit.
No, Dave, you can stay.
That doesn't sound too convincing.
It's not meant to be.
Sophie, have you seen any of the recent episodes of Star Trek Discovery?
No, I haven't. I've just gone completely off it.
Oh my God.
I do see it occasionally when I sign into Netflix. I do see it. It comes up on my, on the homepage thing at the top where they do the big adverts.
Yeah.
It does occasionally come up there, and I'm just sort of like, Quite often, though, my problem at the moment is when I'm logging onto Netflix, I want to watch something I've already watched so I can have it on in the background whilst I do things like housework, exciting stuff like that. Well, so I just haven't really had the inclination to sit down and watch something new.
There are two things I can wholeheartedly recommend that are particularly good. The first is the Star Trek, as its series goes on, it gets better and better and better. And I watched the most recent one that came out this week, I think it's episode 14. Amazing. Every episode, they kind of ratchet up the drama, ratchet up the tension a bit more. It's very impressive. It really is. And I'm thoroughly enjoying it. But I think got up to a bit of a shaky start. Now, I think, if you like Star Trek at all, or even if you just like science fiction, just go watch it because it's amazing. The other thing, Dave, have you watched any of these? It's a new series called Altered Carbon.
I've watched 5 episodes so far.
5? You're 3 ahead of me. I've watched the first 2.
I have heard very good things about this.
It's fucking amazing.
It is amazing.
Isn't it? This is the one where they download his brain into a new body, basically, and he has to go and investigate a murder. Is that Altered Carbon?
Yes, they refer to bodies as sleeves because everyone's consciousness resides in basically a computer chip in the back of the head.
Oh, that's so creepy.
And you can just swap from body to body, kind of.
So basically, death has been consigned to the history book.
You know what, though? If you like that, you should really watch Dollhouse. It's a Joss Whedon series. He only did 2 series, I think, and it's phenomenal.
Funny enough, that's on my list.
It is so good.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. I couldn't finish watching it because it gets super dark and it's just not my thing. But it's amazing, really, really gripping. Like, you start watching it and you just can't stop.
Well, sorry, Dave, go.
The thing is, Sophie, it's Altered Carbon. It's like a TV version, like cyberpunky, but it's like Deus Ex.
Nice.
Like, the first Deus Ex where you had to the
original awesome Deus Ex. Hell yeah.
Yeah, where you had to kind of figure out who you were and all that kind of crap whilst you're going through the game. It's quite similar to that. Yeah, it's really good.
Yeah, okay. I'll add that to my hit list.
I think you should. I don't think you've read it. I mean, it is a very, very good TV series. I've been thoroughly enjoying it. And it's not just me. My wife's been enjoying it as well. We watched it together. Very good. Both very, very much enjoyed it. Definitely one of my favourite things on TV at the moment. And again, it's Netflix one, so they've just dropped all the episodes, I'm pretty sure.
Yes, they have.
Yeah, so really good. Really worth a watch. Definitely worth adding to the list, I would say. I'm trying not to give too much away in the way of spoilers, but it's kind of a bit of a murder mystery thing as well.
Yeah, well, don't worry, you're not giving anything away there because the trailer starts with, I need you to investigate who murdered this person.
Yeah, that's right. No, it's better than that. I need you to investigate who murdered me.
Oh, me. Yeah, that was it. I couldn't remember if you said me or not, so I'll go with this person.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's very good. That's James Purfoy, isn't it?
I have no idea.
Yeah. Yeah, that was good. And the last TV thing I watched recently is Britannia, which is a dramatisation of the Roman conquest of Britain.
There's a lot of that sort of thing out at the moment. I think it started with The Crown, didn't it? And now you've got Victoria on there as well.
Yeah, this predates this. It's more kind of like... It's not.
Yes, don't worry. I do know that the Romans came before them.
I'm so sorry.
Not that bad.
It's not. It's more like a sort of... It was billed as a sort of Game of Thrones-esque. I found it very disappointing, though.
Oh. That is disappointing.
I had quite high expectations of this again. It had David Morrissey in it, who you think, well, he's always reliably good, and a bunch of other people you'd know. Unfortunately, David Morrissey, who is normally good, has sort of turned it up to 11, and it's just a bit a bit too much, I think. He's kind of, I don't know, it's the way it's cut or whatever. It has Mackenzie Crook in it, and you simply wouldn't recognise him. But I just felt remarkably uninvolved. I can't quite explain why, but I just didn't. They didn't manage to make you really care about what happened to the characters. There's one guy who's supposed to be a sort of outlaw druid guy, and his role has been written as slightly comic, I think, or at least it's been played slightly comic, but the rest of it is like having a comedy role in the middle of Game of Thrones. You can see how well that would work out.
Yeah, it just doesn't.
I
mean, you get like moments of comic relief, but
yeah, so
there's no one who's full on comic all the time.
No, that's right. So you've got these, you've got people doing horrendous things. That is Game of Thrones style. You have strange kind of that no one really knows anything about the sort of religious rituals or the original druidic rituals. So they kind of made a whole bunch of stuff up.
Of course.
And they've made them all look slightly sort of mutated or peculiar, because that would happen.
Yeah, exactly.
To the point where we were watching this and Debbie said, "Is that Mackenzie Crook?" And I'm like, "No, surely it can't be." But his voice is the only thing you can recognise, because otherwise he's so, so well disguised, you'd never have an idea that he was. And you got Dave Morrissey, who is very unusually for him, because he's usually reliably good, very unusually for him, hamming it up totally as an evil Roman general. And the thing that drives me nuts about it as well is that the Romans invaded the south of England, right? The tribe that they first came into contact with were the Cantii, who gave their name to Kent. So anyone knows anything about the geography of England knows that's about as far southeast as you can get. And the countryside here is kind of gently rolling hills, albeit it would have been more wooded in those days, but nonetheless gently rolling hills. But they filmed it in Czechoslovakia, where it's all jagged and dramatic mountain tops.
There are no mountains in Kent.
Oh, I know.
It's like there are some hills which, if you're like running or cycling or walking, they might feel like mountains, but they're not.
They're not mountains. No, they're not mountains.
England has I'm not even sure if England technically has any mountains.
Didn't you know Kent is the highest part in the UK?
Oh my God, you're so right. My geography is so wrong.
And they had
I know.
The capital city of the Cantii was in a militarily reinforced deep ravine in the rock, a sort of a steeply sided valley.
And let me guess, did they film that at Petra in Jordan or something?
No, that's filmed in Czechoslovakia.
Oh, the whole thing was it? Yeah, it was a joke.
Apart from the muddy bits in the woods, which were filmed in Wales.
Oh dear!
So
of all the places,
as utterly unlike the geography of Kent as you can possibly get, and anyone who's ever been to Canterbury would know that it's really not like that. It's really not wedged in a rocky ravine.
Which is a bit stupid, really, because if you're going to do something like a historical drama, you want to get everything as accurate as you can. So, okay, fine, let's say their budget didn't support them filming actually in Kent, but you could have at least looked at Kent, at the very least looked at it on Google Maps, and you'd get a feel for what you should be aiming towards.
It's utterly unlike the Vikings. So the Vikings has done, where they've been painstaking to get it historically accurate as they could possibly manage it. And, they've done a particularly good job of it. Very, very watchable drama, very dramatic drama, very well done. It's kind of understated. The Vikings talk very quietly whilst acting with utmost brutality. And the contrast between the two just works really, really well. Brilliant series. And, Britannia is about as far from that as you can possibly get, unfortunately. Which is a shame, because I was looking forward to it. What would we like to talk about next?
So I watched a film.
Did you? What did you watch?
A film, the first film I watched in my life. No, it was on Netflix, and it's The Foreigner.
Oh.
Very
I watched
good.
it.
What did you think?
I thought it was good.
I thought it was surprisingly good, because my other half wanted to watch it, and I was like, okay, yeah, it looks like it's going to be a revenge story. Wasn't really in the mood for it at the time, but I was like, yeah, we'll go with it. And then it turned out to be really, yes, it had a sort of element of not completely mindless action, but there were elements of mindless action. But there was a lot of politicking going on. And I oddly enjoyed it, because normally I don't like it, mixed like that.
Is this the one with Jackie Chan in it?
Yeah, Jackie Chan and Pierce Brosnan, who you wouldn't recognise as Pierce Brosnan for quite a long time. And then I was like, oh my God, that's Pierce Brosnan.
Yeah, I've been wanting
Irish
to watch
accent
this,
does,
actually.
sound a bit funny at times, but...
Yeah, so you enjoyed it, did you?
I did. I thought it was very good.
Is it a martial arts kind of film?
So, hold on, I don't want to give too much of the plot away. Jackie Chan's daughter gets killed in a terrorist attack, and...
anything in the trailer is just deemed not a spoiler, generally speaking.
I can't remember what's in the trailer.
No, okay, fair enough.
Jackie Chan's daughter gets killed in a terrorist attack. I'm pretty sure that's in the trailer, or in the plot summary. And Pierce Brosnan plays thingamajig.
IRA.
Ex-IRA leader person.
Right.
Whoever. Jackie Chan, whose character name I don't actually remember, decides that Pierce Brosnan knows who did this attack because, the IRA or the new IRA, whatever they call themselves, are supposedly claiming credit for this attack. And so the film focuses on Jackie Chan trying to persuade Pierce Brosnan to tell him who the names are, and then you're also following Pierce Brosnan's story where he's trying to find out what's going on and everything, and it's very clever, very clever. I enjoyed it very much. So there were elements of Jackie Chan being Jackie Chan, and also politicalness.
It's not a complete martial arts film because Jackie Chan looks really old now.
Yeah, I saw a clip of it. He does look like he's getting on a bit, doesn't he?
But he pulls this one off quite well because he's supposed to be a slightly grizzled.
Yeah,
the age of his character matches
he's playing an age-appropriate role.
He is. Yes, that's a fancy and good way of saying it.
Good. And Dave, you thought it was good as well?
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. I wasn't expecting much from it, and it kind of surprised me a bit, to be honest. Like Sophie said, it's not just full-out action, which I was expecting it to be.
Yeah, that's what I was expecting, and then it actually had plotline to it.
Yeah, I was expecting, 60-odd-year-old Jackie Chan going around kicking Pierce Brosnan in the face repeatedly.
Yeah, good. Well, that's so I was going to say it's my watch list, so I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah,
it's worth a watch.
Definitely worth a watch.
Good. I would have a very brief mention of somebody's done a time-lapse recording. In fact, they've done 3 time-lapse recordings of Elite Dangerous, which is absolutely amazing. Basically, sitting on a planet and watching the whole galaxy spin round. It's just a marvellous thing to watch. Set to music. Well worth it. It's like sitting in a planetarium.
Planetarium?
Yeah. Planetarium, that kind of thing. Well worth a watch. Yeah, the link's in the show notes. Click on it, watch it. It's amazing.
At risk of sounding slightly weird, my mum and I went to a spa recently, and in the spa they had one of these rooms that's like the relax room.
Yeah.
It was fantastic. So you got to lie on these like heated sun lounger style things. And they just had this music playing, and on this giant screen in front of you, they just showed you random pictures from space. And it was fantastic.
That does sound quite good, actually.
It was really good. I could have just sat there all day. It was really beautiful music as well.
Oh, that really makes all the difference, doesn't it?
Yeah, as we were saying earlier.
Yeah. Well, watch this. The link's there. Obviously not while we're recording, but do give it. It's only like 6 minutes long or something. Give it a watch. It's pretty good. The other thing I just wanted to talk about briefly is I've just, on my wife's recommendation, I've read a book called Smoke Gets in Your Eyes by Caitlin Doughty, I think her name is pronounced. It's called Lessons from the Crematorium, which I initially thought was going to be humorous anecdotes of a crematorium assistant, but actually turned out to be a lot more than that. And there were sort of anecdotes and discussions of the process of working in a crematorium and how the dead are dealt with and sort of process of going through it all. There's also so there's 3 strands that says that. So there were not really what you call humorous, but really very, very interesting anecdotes from the crematorium. Then there was a strand of sort of general discussion of the rites of death from different cultures around the world, and how the Western rites of death, the death industry, has been commercialised, and how we got to where we are, which is very good. And the third thread is sort of personal journey of the author, and how she became interested in this, how she developed slightly sort of morbid interest, her progression through the industry. And the whole thing was fascinating and interesting and gripping. It was very, the way it's kind of mixed together and jumping between the three topics, which is nice for the editing, I think, sort of keep it interesting as you go from one topic to the next, to the next, to the next. And although it is a bit morbid, and I think, you wouldn't necessarily recommend it for everyone to read. If you're a bit squeamish, maybe, possibly best avoid it, because although she doesn't sensationalise what she's talking about, she does talk about it factually. What it did get me doing is thinking about, and I don't want to be too morbid here, but I don't feel it's a morbid topic, but we've got thinking about my own death and sort of arrangements that I'd like to have or whatever. Not that I really care, because
that is quite morbid, just so you know.
Is it? But the funeral's not for the dead; it's for the living, isn't it?
Exactly. So why would you make decisions about your own funeral?
Well, people do, don't they? I prefaced this decision with, "I don't really care."
Yes, that is true.
But the book is just beyond fascinating, really gripping. I was quoting bits to you, wasn't I, Dave, at work?
Yes, you were.
And what did you think of those bits?
They were relatively interesting.
Are you being polite, Dave?
No, they were good. I'm just mocking.
You're just what, sorry?
Mocking.
So it's a good recommendation from my wife. I lucked in a bit because unwittingly, it's an American author, and it's talking about the American sort of death industry, post-mortem industry, but there's an anglicised version where she talks some examples have been either replaced or added to with "and in the UK," ... which is the version that I got it on Kindle, and I happened to luck into the UK version. Definitely worth looking out for that, because my Debbie got the American version, I think, which doesn't incorporate, and in Worcestershire, it's done this way, kind of paragraphs, which were sort of just made a bit more relevant, I think, because the industry, the way it's done, is pretty much the same in Europe and the US. But just having the sort of direct examples just made it a bit more, you could relate to it a little bit more. And it's very interesting to see how the author started off, what her starting off point was on this, and how she worked through her own sort of ideas about it, and where she ended up at the other end of it. Very interesting, very thought-provoking. And I'm sort of trying to avoid giving away any spoilers of it, but it's really worth a read, I would say.
Okay then. I probably won't read it.
I didn't think you would.
I probably won't.
But as I said, it's something that you do feel a bit cautious about recommending because of the nature of the topic. But I found it very interesting. And there we go. Are we going to wrap it there?
There sounds like a good point.
Okay, well, thanks very much for listening. You can, as always, contact us on our Twitter address, which is... what is our Twitter address, Dave? It's at EDS.
Yeah, there you go.
_chat.
There we go.
Is it EDS chat?
It's EDS_chat.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, that's what's on the show notes.
Fairly sure. Do you know what our first show is entitled?
It's not EDS_podcast, is it?
Is it?
I think it is, I think EDS chat might be someone else's Twitter page.
No way, really?
Yeah, I'm not 100% sure.
Why have we got at EDS_chat on the show notes then?
That's so funny.
Let me have a look. I'm going to have a look at 2017 show notes because I know we wrote it down on that.
It is EDS_podcast.
Oh goodness, we've gone full circle, guys.
Safe to say, at least one of us knows what they're doing.
Which one of us is that, Dave?
Apparently it's me, because you both got it wrong.
I was reading out what was on the show notes, god damn it.
In fairness, so was I.
Right, so we might want to update the show notes with some accurate information.
Possibly. I would just like to
I'm gonna
say
do it right now.
I would just like to say, do it. I'd just like to say that the actual show notes that go out with the episodes have the correct Twitter address on.
Good.
I'm pleased to
Are
say.
you sure?
Yes, I'm sure. I've just checked. I've just actually gone into some of our podcasts and had a look. God, we're so on the ball, aren't we?
Oh, dear.
So, yes, our contact address is, as always, at EDS_podcast. Do feel free to get in touch. Anyway, thanks, Sophie.
Thank you.
And thank you, Dave.
Thank you.
And we'll see you again, or speak to you again next time.
Bye.
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 Oh, Southern Vampyre, I'm on it. I just don't know.
I would say yes. Yeah, it'd be alright, wouldn't it?
Damn it. I'm just here to provide light relief.
Fuck this.
And that's taken as read.